We are getting on to breaking input now. Congress MP Shashi Tharoor has supported the government's concern in the Bihar SIR row, highlighting issues of duplicate, dead and unregistered voters, emphasizing the need for regular revisions of electoral rolls. And Tharoor urged the Election Commission to openly address the matter, suggesting that use of digital tools and algorithm to detect irregularities effectively.
I think everyone who has participated in elections has known that the electoral rolls are not perfect. There are duplicates, there are dead voters, there are living voters who are not registered, there are people who have moved address and who's got 2 or 3 addresses in 2 or 3 different booths. All of these things have existed, but if it has happened on a very big scale, then it needs to be addressed. I think the Election Commission's best approach should be to confront these matters very openly. Fortunately, nowadays our digital technologies have improved so much. You can develop an algorithm to go through all the voter registrations, flag every duplicate thing, raise certain questions. I think a revision every few years is essential, maybe every year even. It's in the interests of the Election Commission's own credibility that no voter should have any doubt in their minds and hearts about the fairness of the election. Challenges there are, and no one is going to achieve perfection. But we can certainly respond, I hope, in a fair manner to the legitimate concerns and the legitimate questions asked by the opposition.
All right, I continue to have my colleague Pallavi Ghosh with me and also Ananya Bhatnagar, who's going to track that particular hearing that is going to take place in Supreme Court today. Pallavi, but when we talk about Shashi Tharoor, he has a very different take from what his party says. Once again, a different take. What is the Congress party saying?
Well, Shireen, there are 2 ways of looking at it. One, a part of his statement could be seen as acknowledging the fact which the Congress party and the India bloc has been raising, that, there's all is not well as far as the voters list is concerned, and that something needs to be done about it. The other part which he says can also be lit as tacit support for the SIR exercise, because he also says that there are so many irregularities that perhaps every year we need to address it, across the country we need to address it. He was very much a part of those protests against the SIR, which we saw the march from inside the parliament to the Election Commission. So in that sense, he's given the support. But when he says that, there are irregularities which needs to be addressed, how is it that the EC is addressing it? They're addressing it by coming out with the SIR. That's the crux of the argument and defense also being given by the BJP. So many in the Congress will actually see it as him supporting the idea of SIR. As to how the Congress is reacting, I think, Shireen, you and I know that Congress is now kind of used to Shashi Tharoor not towing the official Congress line. So they don't want to ruffle too many feathers, certainly not in Kerala ahead of the election. So I think they're just waiting and watching to see how this entire issue plays out.
All right. Many thanks, Pallavi, for bringing us that context. Now, we are in fact getting a reaction from the BJP on this. Let's listen to that.
इंडी अलायंस में कोई मिशन विशन नहीं है, केवल अपना अपना एम्बिशन, करप्शन और कंफ्यूजन है। और एसआईआर को लेकर भी देखिए कंफ्यूजन। अखिलेश यादव जी, तेजस्वी यादव जी बोलते एसआईआर नहीं होना चाहिए, उसके खिलाफ आंदोलन निकालते हैं। वोट अधिकार यात्रा निकाली है कांग्रेस पार्टी ने भी। और दूसरी तरफ थरूर जी कहते हैं कि एसआईआर तो होना चाहिए, अच्छा है, ये जो डुप्लीकेट वोट है ये हटने चाहिए, हर कुछ साल में एसेंशियल हो जाता है। तो सोचिए एसआईआर को लेकर ही कितना कंफ्यूजन है। दरअसल ये वोट चोरी का नहीं, ये ट्रूथ चोरी का मामला है। जिस प्रकार से झूठ परोसा गया है और संवैधानिक संस्थाओं पर हमला किया गया है, ये केवल और केवल अपनी हार से अपने आप को बचाने के लिए इलेक्शन कमीशन पर निशाना साधना।
All right, let me now go across to my colleague Ananya Bhatnagar on this. Ananya, last time during the hearing, the Supreme Court made it clear that they are not willing to extend the deadline in submitting the documents. What are we expecting today? What is the angle that is going to be looked into by the Supreme Court?
Well, a fresh application was filed by Rashtriya Janata Dal before the Supreme Court ahead of the hearing in SIR, and then the Supreme Court had stated that, we are not going to extend the timeline because the Election Commission of India also said that the claims and objection can be filed, and it is as per the SIR rules that, the claims and objections can be filed until the nominations by the candidates are filed, and that is the reason why the Supreme Court said that we are not going to tinker with, in fact, the timeline of the Bihar SIR. Not only that, the Supreme Court highlighted that there seems to be a major trust deficit between, in fact, the 12 major political parties, the 12 recognized political parties in Bihar, and the Election Commission of India, because there had been claims and counterclaims from both the sides that the political parties were saying that the Election Commission of India is not accepting the claims and objections, while the ECI has constantly stated that these people are creating a ruckus before the Supreme Court, however are not acting on the ground in helping the voters of Bihar to actually file their claims and objections. So the Supreme Court, on the last date of hearing, in fact asked the District Legal Services Authority, because after this trust deficit, the Supreme Court felt that something that is that remains under the control of the judges of the Supreme Court, like the DSLSA, which acts on the aid and advice of the Supreme Court and in fact the concerned High Court, is something that would help these paralegal volunteers could actually help the people in Bihar to file the claims and objections, and a confidential report would be submitted before the Supreme Court today by the State Legal Services Authority and the District Legal Services Authorities of Bihar before the topmost court of the country. And these 12 recognized political parties of Bihar are also invited, are also to be present before, in fact, the Supreme Court today, and they would be putting forth their stance as to how many claims and objections have they filed. Now, what remains to be seen is whether the Supreme Court would go into the questions of extending the timeline or questioning the legitimacy of the exercise being conducted in Bihar by the Election Commission of India, or would these political parties, just like the last time, would face the wrath of the Supreme Court, wherein the Supreme Court had on the last date of hearing also very categorically and clearly stated that, this is something that seems to be a trust deficit, and the political parties need to activate themselves in order to assist the Election Commission of India in conducting this extensive exercise ahead of the Bihar elections itself. Sharon.
All right, so that's the technical part that Supreme Court is going to look into today. For the political angle on it, I am now joined by CNN News 18's Arun Dhata on this broadcast. Arun, we have seen how the RJD leader Tejasvi Yadav and Rahul Gandhi did an Adhikar rally in Bihar. There's also, in fact, a press conference that is planned in coming days, which Rahul Gandhi says is going to be a hydrogen bomb. How is the BJP reacting to all these allegations?
Well, see, Sharon, BJP, of course, has been in favor of the special intensive revision in Bihar, and they've been fully supporting Election Commission of India in this regard. Remember, during the parliament time when opposition parties were in fact seeking the discussion on the floor of the House, BJP said that, see, it's the Election Commission's domain, and if the discussion happens here, there will not be anybody from the Election Commission side to respond to it. So that discussion did not happen. And the most recent one is that RSS has also reacted to the Election Commission's SIR, which hasn't happened so far. There was a 3 days conclave of RSS, which was there in Rajasthan, and on the final day of this conclave, there was a press conference of Sunil Ambekar, who's the national communication head of the RSS. He very clearly said that SIR is a very good exercise. It really gives you that chance of fair and transparent elections in the state. And secondly, he also highlighted this fact that this is very, very important for strengthening the democratic process in the country. And he also highlighted this fact that they have been working on the ground. They are a social organization. They've been working on the ground for many, many years. And they have also found this, that there are not only illegal immigration that has happened, but people coming from different countries. Infiltrators are also there to weed out them from the electoral process is very, very important. Only people who are eligible or resident of that state, they should have the right to cast their votes, and therefore they are praising this exercise of the Election Commission, which of course is the special intensive revision. And as we are also given to understand, Sharon, that this will of course be panning towards multiple states. You will be seeing it happening across the country very soon, as Election Commission has already started giving that hint. So BJP of course is praising this, and now RSS has also come out and supported this special intensive revision of the Election Commission of India.
And we have to, of course, see how the hearing in the Apex Court today goes on. Many thanks, Arun and Ananya, for getting us all those details. With that, we're going to slip into a short break. More news and update on the other side. Stay tuned.